In this video, we want to review how permit clerks or fire safety inspectors and supervisors can process a brand new food truck application. So the very first thing is you'll need to log in. And logging into the system is required because you won't have the payment options you'll need if you use the public-facing application. So we need to log in, and once you get there, hover over the Permits button on the main menu and select the new food truck permits item. You'll be taken to the main food truck permit list page. From here, you can search for existing food trucks by name or even part of a name. So if you wanted to search for Chillin', somebody's coming in with a new truck and you want to make sure they don't reapplying unnecessarily, you can just type in Chillin' and filter, and the system will show you any applications that have the same or similar information in them. You can search by certificate number, issue date ranges, current status, or even an inspector who's assigned to that permit. So we can look for pendings or issued or expired. We can also search for fire safety inspector name. So let's say there's a brand new food truck. We want to click on the new food truck button at the upper right hand corner. And here at the top, we have two links. One is for the full version of the fire safety unit's list of requirements for a food truck. It's pretty important that the food truck applicant have this with them, or at least understand what is required. That's why it's available online. Or the abbreviated version is here as well. So let's go ahead and start a food truck application. We'll just do this pretty quickly here. It's pretty straightforward. There's only a couple questions that trigger other questions, and we'll point them out. Now, in this sentence, we ask the applicant to give them some dates, the fire safety inspectors, what dates they would have their truck available to be inspected, or anything else they want to pass along to the inspector. If you hover over the question mark, you'll see that we ask them to please allow a minimum of 3 business days to receive your food truck inspection. So that's anywhere you see these question marks, we have some information for you to pass along or for them to look up. So one thing we should have said is that each truck should be registered separately, and they can number or identify them independently, different names or numbers as some do. And these are all required fields on the top. Now the first question that triggers other questions is cooking performed in the vehicle. When you answer yes, that opens up 2 other sections for cooking fuel. And before we get there, another important section to bring up is additional contacts. Whether they have them or not, it might be good to mention to the applicant that every email listed on their application will get helpful reminder emails. So when it comes time for their annual renewal of the food truck license, the system will send out an alert to each email listed on this application. They will also get an email reminder for their 6-month hood inspection if their truck is equipped with a hood suppression system. Another thing to remember is that the emails will be sent out 60, 30, and 15 days prior to each renewal date, whether it be the annual renewal or the 6-month hood inspection date. So now we go to the fuels. If propane is used, yes, and we have some specifications that are requested about propane. The size of tank is 1. If there is no second tank, you can leave it blank or put NA. We have to put a date that it was inspected, and this is for a line leak test, and the contractor's name. Now here's one thing, if somebody doesn't have it, put a note in here to the inspector, just a suggestion, to make sure they get that at the inspection time. Since all these fields are required, at least you can fill them in, and the fire safety unit users can enter or modify these fields at any time. So even if compressed natural gas is not used, this answer is required. And then we have the fire suppression section to answer. So again, the only other question here that opens up more is, do you have a commercial hood suppression system? If the answer is yes, they want to know the date of the last test and what the contractor's name was. And lastly, we ask for the applicant's name and today's date. And then at the very bottom, you have your payment options of cash, check, or existing permit. Now, the existing permit option is there in case the fire safety unit has started an inspection prior to the time they started collecting fees for the inspection. If that's the case, you can choose this option, and the system will not mark this application as having to be paid. So you can either accept cash, check, or existing permit. And this one will just say cash, and then to submit it, just click on the Submit Application button, and you're completed. Once you submit the application, the system will send a message to the fire safety unit alerting them to the fact that a new food truck has applied for a registration. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.